that over yonder?
Whoa. Hola, caballeros. Nice fancy meeting you here on Champions Q Road.
Who are you?
¿Quién soy yo? Mira, who am I?
Let's go.
Caballeros, mira, me llamo Belito Fingerstrong.
The last day.
I am the Champions Q Bard. Have you not caught up on all of your streams yet?
Well, it's been raining cats and dogs out there in the Week 8 Super Week.
Relájate, vaquero. I can tell that you're in a hurry. So, mira, yo tengo un cancioncito. I have a little song for you. It's going to warm your heart and keep you inspired on your travels.
Musicians really do help.
Alright guys, according to my graphs, we're about to run into an ally that will help us on our mission. Wait, that's her!
Brave heroes, for your bravery in this Super Week, I bestow upon thee gifts worthy of your sacrifice. For you, Kungus, I give thee dumbbells of vitality. For you, cowboy, I give thee boots of yee-hawing. And for you, Steve, the recruiter, I give thee mug of ever full coffee. But I have one more gift to bestow, but not one that you can hold. Let's kick some Super Week's ass.
Oh no! Super Week's catching back up to us! Wait, what's that right under it?
You fools. This was all part of my plan. For you see, now that I have exhausted the casters, I shall take over and rule.
Wait, so you're gonna help cast?
I thought that you would all be more upset. This was all part of my big plan.
No, man, we've just been stressed with how busy it is. We'd love the help.
Damn it. Well, do you guys still want to battle? I mean, I was all geared up for it, you know?
Oh, you're on. Hello and welcome everybody to the final day of the Spring Split 2022 Academy regular season. We're here, Lennon. I can't believe that we made it, but welcome to the final day.
I can't believe we're already here. It feels like just yesterday we were getting started with the split, and it's a lot of emotions, right? Like I don't want to break down already. We've literally 5 seconds into the stream, but it's been a fun ride here so far. It really has. Let's go ahead and get to the nitty-gritty though, Kangas. We'll get to the emotional parts later. As we did have Champions Q ending over the last week. Obviously, we had a lot of stuff going on yesterday. Wanted to make sure we got all that out of the way. But it is over. And we do see in that top 20, I see Breezy in there, 22, but I'm going to say top 20 for Kenby and the rest as it does finish. Academy plays strong, man. The end push was huge from Academy
Yeah, they
players.
had a big uptake. And we even 4 in the top 10, rounding that out. Very impressive stuff. Dokla wasn't even like grinding too much at the beginning half. So like him getting top 10 when he pretty much was only played in the second half, or at least grinding in the second half. Very impressive stuff right there. So it's cool to see how Champions Q rounded out. Nobody got first place, but congrats to Cowrie and Surity for top 5 as 2 Academy players. That's really sick to see. And hopefully the competition stays this stiff going forward here, because the Academy players are bringing it to the pros up in the LCS. Outside of Champs Q, though, we also have Proving Grounds to talk about Mazel. It's coming next week.
It's on the right. If you haven't checked out the masterpiece that's leading up to Proving Grounds, right? Like this has been everything that this season has been building to, and you see the bracket in front of you. Yes, it's a lot of numbers.
I'm actually amazed that we got it all on one graphic. So essentially, all you need to do for right now is pay attention to the far left side of the screen. That's what we're going to be talking about a lot on broadcast today, because the bottom 4 Academy teams will play against the bottom 4 amateur teams in a single elim best of 3 play-in. So that's why there's only 4 matches on the far left. That's just the kind of bottom of the teams from each group, and then 1 life to get you into the double elim 16 team bracket.
That's what I was gonna say. It for people that don't understand, like that means that your entire season, right? Proving Grounds is the goal now for Academy players, for amateur players. Like that is the path to development. You have 1 best of 3 and your season is over. Like that, there is no backing down for how terrifying of a task that will be, but it's oh so exciting in terms of competition.
Especially when you look historically, how many amateur teams have actually taken series off of some of the lower seeded Academy teams. So you're sweating if you're one of the bottom Academy teams going into this.
Exactly that. But we got to talk a little bit more about Academy itself, because we got a long day of games today and some potential tiebreakers on the horizon. So we want to give a little breakdown of what could go down here. So as you see, you know, the percentages, best of 2 matches into combined wins into tiebreaker game, where side selection will be given to team with the best head-to-head record.
Exactly. So the big one that we're paying attention to is kind of the middle of the clump. I'm going to keep calling it a clump just because I know it makes Mad Magical really upset, and he is listening right now. The clump right now, we could have potentially a 3-way tie between EG, FlyQuest, 100 Thieves. I mean, it's a crazy world if that happened, but that's where this combined wins comes into effect. If there's a multi-way tie, then it goes to whoever has the most combined wins against the field. But then if it's only a single tie and everyone has the same best of 2 match records, head-to-head will just determine side selection. We'll be talking more about which teams are actually, you know, having opportunities for tiebreakers as we get into the individual matches, though. Outside of that, Mazel, things got a little spicy here at the end of the week. It got a little hot.
I'm wearing all this
I know
stuff.
summer's coming. It's heating up out there. But for some reason, the Academy players just decided this week to get extra spicy on some of their Twitter takes. So we haven't done this in a while, but we want to take a look at some of the tweets going around in the community here. Golden Guardian's not giving respect to CLG Academy, but Dokla's got his team's back.
I was dying when I saw this one on Twitter. I immediately sent it to our group chat. I was like, holy cow, man. Dokla going for the throat. But I mean, hey, Golden Guardians did kind of put it up there for it. So they were the ones that only added Dokla.
Literally only Dokla.
He was pretty terrifying.
That was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. But of course, we also have Tim Sevenhusen. He was tweeting out very publicly his opinion on the support performances. He had a take on Shime. Take it or leave it, whether you agree with it or not. But Breezy obviously had his own thoughts.
So there was a series of probably 6 or 7 screenshots that followed this tweet thread, and it was literally Breezy and Chime tweeting at each other like jukes and like different points of games, and then finally Chime just conceded in the end. He's like, "All right, man, it's over. Like you win." But just seeing the players interacting on Twitter.
Absolutely,
it's
one of the best parts of the scene. But then we also have, I believe, one final spicy take.
This one was spicy.
This one's insane. So, you can't. This was a call that Rafa gave. It was a fantastic call in the game. One of my favorite ones of the season so far. You cannot flip against XU, or he gave the full name, Lawrence XU. But one of the other players had a different thought on this because he had a different experience with flipping against XU.
Just a little bit of a different experience. I just love it. It was an instantaneous response from Hyper, who's like, "Wait, well, I have proof. I have proof right here. I outsmited X.
The best part is he doesn't give
but
any
it's just
context.
so
Like
good.
there's no words. It's just
No,
the image.
absolutely not.
And then I actually, this is gonna look a little weird on stream, but I actually have XU's response saved. He does give props to Hyper as well. You can see the
goat.
response. He does give Hyper his due.
So I will say though, to our Academy players, just for a quick aside, they are so quick to back down. We are immediately seeing like Dokla's tweet, and then Sniper was like, "Please teach me," and then Dokla's like, "No, Sniper, you're the one." It's like, okay, the original hype is good, but you gotta back it up. You gotta continue.
As long as they give us something to work with initially, and then they're wholesome
True.
behind the
We can
scenes,
take
I'm
it out
okay
of
with that
context.
too. I can live in this world.
We did have a full day of games though yesterday, Kangas. So let's go ahead and bring that one up because we didn't get the full tie day. We almost got a full day of O2s. As it was some dominant performance to start to round out the
Exactly. Yeah,
season.
we had 2 very close tie days, but last night we had CLG getting the best of Golden Guardians. Violeton instead of 6A. That's a big story there. So we'll see if they can hold on to one of their top spots on the standings currently. But FlyQuest beating 100 Thieves. That was really big.
Yeah.
Not for FlyQuest standings, but
I'm
for
mad
100
at you,
Thieves' potential of
Kangas.
getting knocked out of top 6 now.
I'm mad at you. You got to interview
I did.
Spyrax and I didn't get to.
I did get to
all I'm
interview
saying.
him.
Anyways, we're gonna move fast before I start. Before I'm more upset. This is the Academy standings going into the last day. Still, obviously, some movement available. Right, teams within one. Obviously, trying to pick
You're going
up
to see
the
this a
2-0s
lot today, guys. Everyone watching, we're going to
You
be
are
showing
gonna-
this
I was gonna
constantly.
say, you better
It'll
be
live
ready.
updated. It's going to be really slick because, of course, we're going to be watching Immortals, Dignitas, 100 Thieves, who's maintaining their top 6 spot because those are the teams that are still fighting for that initial best of 2, or rather double round robin run through Proving
Every
Grounds.
game is important. Like literally every team is within
Yeah.
one of each other. We have best of 2s. Like you can win 2 games and come like
It's big. But let's take a look at
insane.
the schedule then. So we see who's actually playing who and how these teams could potentially do that as we're getting that ready. Because of course,
Oh wait! Snap! we got our caster win rates. All right, let's break
I
this
did
down.
not
All
know
right,
we were
we
running
didn't know
this.
this was coming, but I love it. Look at all the 75%ers. We got 2. All right. We gotta take Joshi and Rafa off of Cloud9.
Yeah, I was gonna say
This is not
everybody
working.
should get really mad at Cubby for casting any Cloud9 games. 35.7% win rate when he's casting.
So what happens if we combine Rafa and Cubby? Does
Ooh.
that, I mean, I guess that evens it out a
well,
little bit. Oh, this is such a cool graphic. Thank
This
you,
is
production.
amazing. I love this. Probably the most flattering. Joshi still looks hot. Can we just like nerf this guy? I've not got a bad photo of him yet this split.
I love the Academy aliens.
Yeah.
For Magical.
the tinfoil hat. All right, thank you, production. This was fantastic. As of course, all those are the success or the win rates of the teams when they're with their casters. But next up, we'll have the schedule pop up so we can actually look at the games that are happening today. Because again, the top 6 is the big push. We have 100 Thieves Dignitas to close out the day. Immortals are against Golden Guardians, who are looking weaker than ever right now. There's a lot that can happen on Stream A. I'm so happy that I get to host this. I'm sorry, Mazel.
It
I'm sorry
really
that you
is.
got the B
Hey,
stream today.
I get my own fun matchups on Stream B. As we're gonna take a look at twitch.tv/FaceItTV. Got FlyQuest with that 2-0 yesterday, taking on Cloud9 Academy. TSM Academy taking on TL Academy. Every win for TL and C9 are so crucial. But as well for FlyQuest and TSM trying to
The
get
thing
those better
is,
seedings.
this is like 2 of the best teams versus the 2 teams towards the bottom of the standings. EG is now lower than FlyQuest. There's no longer the bottom 2, but both TSM and FlyQuest are on upticks. So this is you also have really exciting matches because I could see FlyQuest or TSM taking games off of either of their opponents. Really fun stuff. But a reminder, everybody, if you're not already, and if that schedule surprised you, go follow Path to LCS on Twitter because that is where you can get all standings updates, all schedule updates, our ridiculous shenanigans that Mazel makes me stay up till 4 a.m. editing get posted on there. I'm now on the LPL sleep schedule officially, even though I'm not part of the LPL show.
I have converted him.
Yeah.
It's fine. But seriously, if you aren't following Path to LCS and it's been 8 weeks and 2 days,
What are you doing?
there's some problems. Like, I don't know. There's a disconnect
What are you
there. What are
doing?
you doing, man? It is Path to LCS on Twitter. Go follow it. It will have all the updates for everything to do with amateur, everything to do with Proving Grounds.
But
coming
that's
up as
that
well.
does it for the pre-show, Mazel. This is it.
I'm
the
sad.
final
I don't
pre-show.
want to.
And
Kangas,
we wanted to take a
no.
moment before we split the stream to just say thank you to everybody who watches, everybody who tunes into the pre-show. We know it's not always the most popular part of the show, but still, you're the real ones that are actually watching this message right now, and especially if you're one of the ones that sticks in, day out for all of our crazy shenanigans. We appreciate the love and the support.
We really do. It's incredible to have been a part of this whole split, and we know we're just getting started, and to have everybody show so much support, it's been incredible. We wouldn't be here without the players, without the staff or academy, without everybody that has anything to do with the teams at this level. And I just want to give a huge shout out to the players. They've been grinding, they've been trying. Champions Queue plus Academy. You've got Golden Guardians attempting every single game they can in the split. Thank you. Thank you for giving us something to watch, to be proud of, to be excited
about.
And it's an amazing thing.
Talent development is just getting started, everybody. And also special shout out to everybody in production. Mazel, an amazing co-host. Everybody in production behind the scenes. Rafa and Joshi aren't on the show today. They had their last day yesterday, but they've been fantastic. We got Gabby and Mark on the show today instead. And then, of course, Magical and Cubby. Everybody's been putting in 110%. And with that said...
Huge... Oh, hold on. A huge shout out to Kelsey, obviously everybody at Face It, Duran, like Peter, the stream producers, everybody putting in 110%. It hasn't been the easiest, but you guys are the reason why we're still here. So huge shout out before we.
And that means one final time, Mazel. We're just gonna do a simple one, fist bump to close out the stream. Have a good show, man. Hello and welcome everybody to the final broadcast day of LCS Academy. We got 3 best of 2 series ahead of us, and I have 2 amazing casters on the desk with me. I got Cubby and I got Magical rounding out the final show day. Magical, how dare you outdress me today? I can't believe it.
I had to keep it secret on purpose so that you had no idea what was coming.
Man, I felt so good about the tie and like it contrasted with the colors, and you just come in like this. All right, well, regardless, looks like we got Scooby-Doo cosplay happening, but dapper. A little dapper right there. Anyway, matches ahead of us. Evil Geniuses Academy versus CLGA Academy to start off the day. Magical, I'm going to give it over to you. Evil Geniuses Academy find themselves in second to last place. They are locked out of top 6 contention. They're no longer fighting for an automatic seed into Proving Grounds, a double elim. They'll have to play through play-ins. So, how are they looking? What are we thinking about them?
They've been on a rough streak as of late. This is a team that we know has really high highs, but lately we've seen their lows, and that's the big thing when looking at Evil Geniuses if they can regain that glory that they had earlier in the season and try to at least get better seeding going into Proving Ground.
It's all about seeding for them at this point, and also just trying to get back on form, get the gears rolling again. They're against CLG though, Cubby. Currently in first place, they've taken it back from Golden Guardians.
And I think that win yesterday for CLG, and this is a split where I've talked with both Rosethorn yesterday, Prismal a bit before the games today, and they recognize that, hey, as a team, we had to come together. Like, this hasn't been the easiest weeks of practice, let alone stage time. We've been seeing the stage games. I believe they were tied for 5th with 4 other teams when it comes to the results in the second round robin. But that 2-0 yesterday, Prismal was like, that was huge. It was a huge dopamine hit. We all got ice cream to celebrate afterwards. It felt really good for CLG, and now they're only 1 win away in this series from securing that first seed moving into Proving
And
Grounds.
they've brought them back to 50-50. They were 6-8 going into the second round, or rather going into the games yesterday. But now 8-8. They have a chance to go 10-8, maybe 9-9, depending on how things look. But we will be updating these standings as we go through the day. A reminder, because again, the clump in the middle right there. It's not even a clump, and like nobody's tied in the middle anymore. But of course, Immortal Signitas, 100 Thieves can all still make that run for top 6. So we'll be keeping everybody updated on that. But again, the match ahead of us won't have big standings implications other than maybe CLG dropping. So I want to actually talk about Evil Geniuses again. Cubby, do they have a win condition? How do they approach this?
So I think EG, it's really all about Cowrie still. And I know that we have a clip to run about Cowrie where you caught up with him with an interview earlier in this season.
I think I can bring the team a bit more aggressive play style. I mean, sometimes team fights, like engaged. I think he's good at it. After like training, from my perspective, he's really good at team fights sometimes. When he's winning the lane, he's a really good player, I think. He just needs to learn how to play from behind. But when he's on head, like he's a really good player, I think. About Tomio is like a carry jungler, I think. He needs to learn how to play for team jungler too, but he's getting really good at it. Like with time, maybe until Proving Grounds, we can get very much better.
The big takeaway that I had from talking with Cowrie in that interview was that he feels that they're strong in the late game if they are in a comfortable position, if they haven't lost the early game, but that's where their weakness is, and that's what they've been working on lately. And you look at their picks, you look at what they're trying to play towards, it feels like that is even reflected on the Rift. It just hasn't been getting them a lot of wins lately.
And keep in mind, too, I mean, Cowrie's someone in the TCL. This guy was a prodigy. He took MVP in the league, and now coming into EG, I think it's nice to hear him talk about some of the rookies. But Surdy, Tomio, Skytech, it's all their first full splits in Academy. And the fact that Cowrie, you know, we have to recognize that EG, they are 9th in our standings now after yesterday. They have struggled a bit, especially in the second round robin. But I think Cowrie, I know this interview is from a bit earlier in the season, but, you know, he sees the positives with this team. He thinks that they can become a team as things move forward. And I'm just really looking for EG to start coming together because we have yet to really see that in this split.
And they have one more day.
I know I do want to say one thing, because I saw a tweet yesterday from Sturdy where he said, you know what? We've had a rough time. Please be patient with us. We're learning, we're growing, and we are here to dominate in Proving Grounds. We're all doing this so we can learn and grow as a team.
Yeah, I believe he also, you know, cited the individual strength of this team. I know that both Surdy, Cowrie plays really well in Champs Queue. Put whatever stock you want into that, but we just haven't seen that come in. Also, Tomio, top 10 in Champs Queue, I believe. He was 11th. He was just outside. So, yeah, I these guys, they have talent. And we just haven't seen that show on the Rift, and we're still really looking for these guys to come together because we know that this is a team that we expected to be in the top half. We still have Cowrie as you know, someone that could be our most valuable prospect. And I think that those are a couple things that you wouldn't expect out of a 9th place team.
They are the 9th place team currently up against the number 1 team. So I want to talk about the number 1 team coming into the day because, of course, Prismal is also the lane opponent of Cowrie in that bottom lane. And overall, CLG, it seems like their playstyle has shifted slightly. I mean, at the beginning of the season, they were playing pretty much exclusively through Dokla.
Yeah, and what I look at when I look at CLG lately is that Dokla, they still can rely on him. He can hard carry or backdoor for the team. But when they can get picks like Zeri or really aggressive ADCs for Prismal, he has that potential to pop off. Sometimes he gets punished for those over-aggressions and stepping a little too far forward, but I appreciate that. He's making these plays, he's looking fancy, he's constantly willing to jump forward at any moment.
And, this is something we've always known Prismal for. And I think the good part about yesterday was that I have to talk about the good moments where Prismal was stepping forward, right? Not some of the bad ones. That has been something we've been seeing in the second round robin, but I think the style that CLG took that 2-0, it's against their second place Academy team. It was with every member really having standout performances in both games, but I think especially Prismal, he's someone that we have high expectations for in Academy. He has not been beating those in the second round robin, but he met those and even exceeded them yesterday.
That one was big for CLG's mental, big for their confidence, because they had been on a 1-1 streak since the second round robin
Ice cream
started.
dopamine hit, man.
Yeah, finally ending that. Getting
Celebrating
a big
with
2-0.
ice cream. It's huge.
Hey.
That's what it's all about.
Hey, I've talked about this story before, but back when I was a little kid playing in Little League and baseball, on Mondays, if my team ever played and my dad was my coach, if we won, he'd always take us out for McDonald's because it was McDonald's Mondays,
Okay.
and we'd always win. We never lost a single game on McDonald's Mondays because we knew that the prize was we go to McDonald's and get free food. Granted, it was $1 cheeseburgers that day, but still, it's the whole point of having that dopamine rush.
I mean, now you're giving me
Now I'm
like
hungry.
the flashbacks about the $1 burgers. They're not $1 anymore, man.
Yeah, it's actually crazy
I'm lucky.
how that's changed, but I don't want to get into the weeds there. Also, so does that mean does CLG get like a prize? Like, what do they get if they win this?
Well, let's see. It's Friday.
Prize
so-
Friday?
We'll have to ask him in the post-game interview.
Prize Friday.
I think it's only
Prize
fair.
Friday. Maybe get
Prize Friday?
Yeah, French Fries Friday.
All right, we'll keep that in mind. I'm hearing that we're waiting for the players to get into Champion Select for game number 1. So while the players are doing that, I want to just talk a little bit more about how the teams are shaping up going into Proving Grounds. Because now that it's Friday, now it's the last day of Academy, we can start looking forward. Teams are pretty much in the form that we should expect. It's next week that they're going to be playing in Proving Grounds, so there's not going to be like a massive difference, I would imagine, over one weekend. So let's start with Evil Geniuses and think about their kind of chances, I guess. They will be playing in the Plans Cubby. I want to get your thoughts on this because you'll have a better understanding maybe of or a better read of the teams that they could be up against from the amateur side. Are we worried about Evil Geniuses Academy going into Proving Grounds?
So I mean, at the moment, I'm worried for whoever the 10th seed is.
Okay.
Because that's the best of 3 against Maryville currently. Now, as Mad Magical has pointed out in past streams, the way that amateur works right now is that they're actually in the semifinals. Semis are Monday. Finals are going to be on Tuesday this upcoming week. Right here on twitch.tv/academy, if that's interesting
You're not
to
following,
you.
follow now so you don't miss it.
Yeah, so I think that for those games, if Maryville wins, they will knock Evil Genius's Prodigies into the 7th spot and the playing stage. Whereas at the moment, Maryville would be the 7th seed, meaning they go up against the 10th seed in Academy. And I think that that's a matchup. That main roster, they just took down 100 Thieves next. It has Niles on it. It has APA on it, who has never lost in the first round or the first series that he's played in Proving Grounds either. Keep in mind, he was a part of the Barrage and the Resolve squads that upset Team Liquid and C9, the 2nd seed, both spring and summer this past year. Anything can happen in a do-or-die best of 3. That is not a team I want to go up against. So whoever is 10th seed, I think that usually we don't have stakes on our last day of Academy if you are fighting for 9th or 10th, but I actually think it's kind of important that EGA are able to pick up a game in this series because TSM's been looking better, and I don't want to be the 10th seed going up against Maryville.
And a reminder that we could still have tiebreakers at the end of the day today. If EG do not pick up a win, and TSM do pick up a win, we would have a tiebreaker then for that final spot. I believe I'm not looking at the Foley sheet, so I hope that I'm not misquoting anything here, but I believe that that's how it would work based on what I'm seeing right now in the current standings, and the head-to-head would just decide side selection at that point.
Fortunately for us, we have producer Kelsey on the case.
True.
She'll be helping us out with tiebreakers throughout the day. I also believe that we have a tiebreaker graphic I know that wasn't supposed to go up here, but maybe, as you can tell, we're kind of stalling for some time. There have been some tournament realm issues, so maybe we can get that to fly here from our wonderful production team in a couple minutes to talk about tiebreakers a little bit. So we do have a little bit more time to tease this first matchup and what we might be seeing on our last day of
Exactly.
Academy.
Also, if we could take a look at the again the current standings at some point, because then we can also use that as a visual reference. So that
Yeah,
way
we
it's
had
not
those
just
up
talking
earlier.
heads. You can actually see at home what we're referencing, and as we are waiting for those tournament realm issues to be sorted out and the players to actually get into the game. So we're not talking because we like our own voices here, even though Magical does sound quite nice.
I think that Mad Magical selfishly did want more camera time for this suit. I mean,
Look.
it's smooth as velvet, man.
Look, I just like tiebreakers. I like it to be close. I was sad when I learned that Dignitas 100 Thieves couldn't result in the tiebreaker yesterday because 100 Thieves going 0-2.
Yeah, they're one game
ruined my
apart and they play
dream.
each other today, so they
Hey,
cannot.
but you know
tie.
what? That match still has
Oh,
stakes.
it's still
and
really important, yeah.
yeah, so diving into some of the stakes, we keep the standings up a little bit. Top 4 teams are all safe. They're going to be in our top 6. Now, what does top 6 mean? It means that you're seeding it into the double elimination part of the bracket. If you are bottom 4, you are still a part of Proving Grounds. You just have to play a do or die best of 3 against an amateur squad that is bottom 4 as well. So top 6 does have a lot of importance because you want that second life. You want to be seated into the main bracket. Now, the 3 teams that are competing for the last 2 spots, those will be Immortals Progressive, Dignitas Quantipe, and 100 Thieves. And as Mad Magical was noting, that is our last match of the day, Dignitas versus 100 Thieves. And if 100 Thieves 2-0s, that would actually give them the number 6 spot instead of Dignitas.
And now, if we can take a look at the tiebreakers as well, then we can start talking about the implications of this, because there could be a 3-way tie
huge.
between those 3 teams. And then we take a look on the right side of the screen, how we determine that. So it's best of 2 match wins at the very beginning. There is still a chance that, those...
Well, hold on.
Yes?
It's game winning percentage at the very beginning.
Well, yes.
So whoever has the most wins and losses, and then we get into the rest.
True. But if they're all tied with wins and losses, and they're all tied with best of 2 match wins, then we'll go into the combined wins, which is actually, I believe, favoring Evil Geniuses right now, if I'm correct.
So I would also like to just cite that the best of 2 match wins, or combined wins, that means the amount of 2-0s.
Yes.
So that is, the more 2-0s you have, that is part of a tiebreaker that could prevent a tiebreaker game. So that is why, as Mad Magical was citing, if 100 Thieves 2-0, or if it's a 1-1, it would not be a tiebreaker, just given how these sort out with the best 2 match wins and then the combined wins.
And of course, there's a lot that will have to happen for us to get to that point. But we just want to bring it up in case it does happen. But the big one I'm still looking at is EG TSM, because TSM are looking really strong right now. They are against Team Liquid, arguably the hardest team to play against at the end of the season, if not CLG, which is EG's situation right now. But if TSM pick up that win and EG drop, then there's a chance that TSM can dodge that 10th seed. And when we look at the current bottom 4, 100 Thieves, FlyQuest, EG, TSM, I don't even necessarily know who I think is the best of those 4. I might be leaning like TSM or FlyQuest currently.
I was about to say, recency bias, TSM FlyQuest.
Yeah.
But that's also because, recent 2-0s, that was only the second 2-0 TSM's gotten this entire season. That just happened yesterday.
I think the form they're doing it in, I know that Kaido had a massive series yesterday. There's no denying that. But I also really still want to continue to praise the improvements that we've seen out of Hyper, Yurson, and Instinct. I think that these 3 guys, that has been a big part of TSM stepping up. It is a team effort. Yes, Kaido is the one that's putting them on the team's back, especially in the later stages of the game when he's picking this Corki. But you got to get to you got to get past the 15-minute mark on even footing. And TSM have been piloting their early games much better, so they've been able to do that more often. I think that's been a big part of the reason why all of a sudden TSM has been a team that, quite honestly, as a caster, at times was difficult for us to talk about. It's like they just were not working together. They would get early game leads and then throw them pretty abysmally at times. Now they're a team that we're actually kind of excited about because we're seeing this identity emerge. We're seeing them work more as a team, and they're starting to be a team where we knew they had talented pieces. They're starting to play like they have talented pieces because they're playing together. I think that's been a really good sign of improvement from TSM.
Viper.
And that's just my spiel on TSM. That doesn't even hit on FlyQuest, who are also in the same
Exactly. I was going to jump in a little bit on TSM too. I'll just give 2 points. Viper, still consistent, still popping off. And Hyper, yes, getting more consistent, dying less, picked off less, and having more impact in those early games. But yeah, FlyQuest is the other team at the bottom 4 right now. That's very exciting based on their trajectory in the second half of the round robin. I'm hearing that we're almost ready for pick and ban. A reminder that the games are just delayed slightly based on some issues with the tournament realm, but the players are hopefully getting into pick and ban anytime now. But while we're waiting for that, let's hype up FlyQuest a little bit, because of the bottom 4 teams, Magical, they are looking like maybe the strongest of the bunch.
Yeah, I mean, I have been big on Spyrex for some time now. Just his consistency in the early stages of the season, where this is a collegiate player coming in from Maryville University, stepping for his first time into Academy. Of course, you're going to have a rocky start initially because it's a young player, young talented player who has a champion Ocean that he has at his whim that he can pull out at any time. But then we see that he grows. He's starting to be this player that can carry, that finds these picks, that sets up the rest of the team so well. Yuji, too, I gotta give major props to him as a jungler. Another one of those fresh faces out of the collegiate scene, too. These two players have looked like they've now gotten together perfectly in tandem.
I do want to tie this back into this series, because FlyQuest, while they do sit in 8th, there's actually a 1%, one scenario, very small chance that they are able to make it in, and it relies on an EGA 02. So if that happens, we will talk more about that.
Interesting. I didn't even realize that. All right. Well, I guess
check the chat. We got all the updates for you.
We got all the updates. While we're filling for time here, we actually have Kelsey just feed us information of all the different scenarios that can happen. But I believe I heard that we are getting ready for pick and ban. Ooh. So as I wait final confirmation on that, I just want to also shout out that FlyQuest in the jungle, the UG matchup against CLG was a huge impact in their win there. So they've just taken a game this week off of the top team in Academy. Part of the reason why we're so excited for them. But I am getting a confirmation that we're ready for pick and ban. So enough chit chat. Let's get into the games. I'm going to pass it over to Magical and Cubby to get us underway.
Oh, God, it feels like we got a delay just to hype up these games even more and be more excited. It is the last day of the regular season for Academy Spring 2022. We get the first place seed up against a team that has struggled as of late and now needs to climb their way back if they want to deny that low seed potential they now find themselves in.
Yeah, personally, I just can't believe that, Mad Magical, you stalled out the broadcast 15 minutes because your velvet jacket. There was too much static. You broke the tournament realm.
What can I say?
It's too smooth.
What can I say? You know, I just got to show everyone the fit. I rarely busted it out, and so now that I have, has to come out on display for our final day. And I just want to get into the game. Honestly, I'm just too excited for these.
Well,
three series. Possible tiebreakers. If tiebreakers happen, I'll be so happy. And look how we started. We have an Ashe pick for Cowrie.
Okay, so want to catch up on the pick ban real quick. Interesting. Ophelio is going to be left off the table. Ashe. Now, Ashe saw some changes. Her arrow now flies faster over time. And I've been hearing rumors. I know that Arrows was playing it a lot in Champs Queue at the end of the split. And something that we've been looking out for when it comes to Cowrie. We know that Cowrie's a really good player, but coming into this week, he had only played 5 unique champs. I was kind of asking for Cowrie to, show a little bit more diversity, show what else he can play. He has only played new champs in this week. He has played Caitlyn. He hadn't played Ezreal before, even though we know he can play it. Now it's going to be the Ashe, and we'll see if they can contest the power, the pushing power that CLG's bot lane is going to have, as it is Prismal and Breezy on that Caitlyn Lux.
But I kind of like Ashe into that, because Ashe is also one of these champions that is pretty consistent at clearing and poking in the bot lane. Going up against Caitlyn Lux, that's almost feels like it's a neutralizing factor.
This has kind of been a forgotten about matchup. I think that Ashe's numbers are a little bit low, and in a meta that's all about your lethal tempo marksman, Ashe is not the one that does the most damage in the later stages of the game. But you know what she does bring? Great utility. So EG's bot lane now stacking up even more on that utility. Going to take the Leona. That's plenty of crowd control. Now it looks like EG is going to be banning out a couple mid laners to set up for a potential blind there. And CLG, I wouldn't be surprised to get rid of a couple top laners that might give them a hard time. Maybe set up Doko for something like a Jace matchup. I think Jace syncs up really well with Kate Lux, and something that EG might be worried about going to the next stage of the draft as well.
But we're seeing mid lane focus at the moment. I for sure thought we'd see a little bit more focus on Surdy, since Surdy will have blind pick, and I'm expecting the side of Evil Geniuses to grab their mid lane first for Saligo. Something that's going to be consistent. The Orianna was the first one I had thought of, but that being banned, the Ahri being banned by them with the Renekton following too, makes me think Surdy wants Camille.
That is a possibility. I can't understand the Orianna ban, just given the Wombo combo with the Hecarim plus Ori on this big backline that CLG has to protect in the Lux and the Caitlyn. And you can see they are really scared about the Wombo. They're taking away the Galio too. Maybe guessing that they might see a Camille. So we'll see what EG decide to pick. Now, Saligo does have his blind available. The one thing about Ashe, a little bit lower on the damage side when it comes to all the marksmen, especially as the game goes on. She can pump it out, but, it doesn't have the mobility or the same damage that we're seeing out of Jinx and Aphelios in the current meta. So maybe we see Saligo go for something a little bit more damage heavy. And instead, that's actually something that's really important for the lane phase.
Wow.
Saligo could be busting out that Azir.
And you know what I actually love about seeing Azir is it's not like before where he was really focused on late game scaling, et cetera, et cetera. It's like you talked about. More about the lane and then Baron take. Because Ashe, even if she is more utility, she's still pretty good at taking down these neutral objectives with something like an Azir.
Now, something I do like about the Azir is that it does give you that Wombo, that Shurima shuffle, that ability to access the backline of CLG. And CLG, they're just committing even harder into the backline as it is Jace, what we teased, syncing up with Lux Kate, and now the Corki. That is so much poke coming out of CLG. And we'll see if EG continues to commit to this overload comp, as we could see Surdy, you tease the Camille. It's a matchup you can run into the Jace and would really help EG attack the backline. Could also just see Surdy go for something like a Tryndamere if they want to commit to the split push. But it will be that Camille. We've got the 5v5s coming out strong here from EG, as they're going to be the ones that are looking to take down the squishy backline of CLG.
Oh, God, these are interesting comps. I actually really like both of them. I don't know which one I favor more because you have really good poke setup from the side of CLG. But like you talked about, you have good team fight. You have good separation in the mid game from the side of EG. You even have a possibility that you can set up a 1-3-1 if that doesn't necessarily work with Camille and Azir. And then I already talked about how good they are at taking Baron.
And I think it all comes down to this bot lane for CLG versus EG. If Lux Caitlyn get unlocked, they can take structures, they can get the Jace Corki accelerated, and then once the Mirror Mana evolves for Jace, we know how hard those shock blasts hit. And EG, this Azir Ashe can be very vulnerable to range, very vulnerable to poke. So I'm really looking out to see if EG can try and contest the bot lane power early from CLG, try and slow down that game plan. And then if EG's engages are clean, one thing we've been looking out for with EG, Tomio, Skytech, syncing up. Both of these players are rookies in their respective position. We've seen them have some games that are really good, some games that aren't so great, but the games that are good are the ones where they're able to sync up Mad Magical, able to make those engages together. And when you're going against a Jace, Corki, Caitlyn, Lux, if your engages are not clean, you are going to be punished. So I really want to see, as we get into the later stages, if Tomio and Skytech can pull it off. But early, we got to see if EG can survive this bot lane, because CLG, Kate Lux, it's scary.
Well, I hope everyone at home is ready to start off our first best of 2 series for our last day of the Academy season. Spring 2022 is coming to an end. Proving Grounds will be next week, but we got to finish this one off with CLG Academy against Evil Geniuses Academy.
Just want to remind everyone of the stakes. CLG, 1 win here. They lock down first place.
Yep.
So do need 1 win in this series. EG looking to take a game, looking to keep that 9th seed and maybe push FlyQuest for the 8th. They are able to 2-0. We're in the last week. Had to go over some of, the ramifications, results of these matchups. Mad Magical, posturing for Proving Grounds. Kind of the theme.
So, and I think you talked about there's one scenario where Evil Geniuses possibly get 7th seed. That is by 2-0ing here against CLG, and then hoping that Dignitas 2-0s 100 Thieves at the end of the day. That would, I think, force them into a tiebreaker against 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I feel like, might have been a foldy sheet day, but instead we're just going to talk you through it with our soothing voices, as we've got it down pat, some help with Kelsey too. Doing a return to this game, though, as minions are about to crash. We got some action. EG trying to get Prio in this bot lane, and it looks like Tomio actually be starting the bot side, soloing out the Wolves. So mirrored paths coming out from each of these junglers, starting on the blue side. Tomio doing things a little bit different, though, on the Hecarim. I like this because you can get level 2 earlier, or I should say second camp respawns earlier if you are able to take those camps instead of the buffs first. So I think Hecarim, Tomio showing that he just really wants level 6, as keeping the camera bot. Prismo and Breezy are already crushing this lane, level 1.
Skytech went in with Zenith Blade and suffered the consequences of that. There's a lot more damage on the side of Caitlyn Lux at these early stages. Kind of need to get that volley online for Kaori to really be able to poke back, and it's for overtime. It's not really quite so bursty. But I am going to go back to the jungle matchup that we were talking about. Seeing this weird matchup between Tomio and Rosethorn. We talked about bot lane important for CLG and how they can really dominate here, and getting Kaori and Skytech out of that is going to be critical. But
hold on.
I know I have to put on pause because
Hold
Rosethorn I
on.
thought was going to go bot lane, but he's here mid.
Yeah, Soligo's level 2. He doesn't have the dash, so Rosethorn can trade flash for flash here, and I think Soligo might be dead.
He might be flashed over the wall.
Oh, really well played.
That's done. Nicely done by Soligo.
Really well played by Soligo. That was a tough situation to get out of, and I really like the path from Rosethorn as well. This is always an option that you have with Voldabear. Trading flash for flash mid, your level 3, level 4 is so goddamn strong in this champion. So Rosethorn already taken advantage of that, giving Triple a little bit of a reprieve in the mid lane, and now we'll see if Rosethorn should be a standard clear to pick up the bot crab for the rest. Tomio also going for that full clear. Good for the Hecarim. You lose flash on the first clear in the jungle matchup, or I should say in the mid lane matchup, thanks to jungle matchup, but Tomio, overtime, Hecarim will scale.
So what I was even thinking, this is what I was trying to set up. Man, I don't think I can. I was looking at Tomio and possibly ganking early as Hecarim, not power farming fully, to look for a play on Surdy and try to get him ahead, but Rosethorn has already made his second play of the game with this attempt to dive on a Skytech. They got him rooted, but Breezy was taking a lot of damage. They got the flash in with the stun. They look for the turnaround. First blood goes over to Rosethorn, but they're able to trade it back 1-for-1. Skytech running away, doing his best to get towards Tomio, but the Sky Splitter gets a little bit of damage, and there's Ghost Pop. They've got the bear, but they already killed Skytech. Looking for the damage onto the bear. It's going to be a kill going over to Tomio, and now he's fighting back against Prismal. Low health, and you're against a Hecarim.
And Tomio rotating to the play, dropping his standard clear. That ends up saving things for EG. Saves his bot lane as they're at least able to turn the play around, get Hecarim some gold. Prismal is going to be really big off that, but Tomio saves the day.
And keep in mind, Tomio had just cleared Crux when that dive was started. He booked it to the bot lane after that.
I really love seeing, that's some of the communication we're looking for between Tomio, Skytech, two of these rookies. Good sign there. Tomio able to utilize the speed of the Hecarim to get involved right in time and at least turn things around.
All right, and here we have a replay going into this dive, so we can see how
you can see Tomio. Look at how far away Tomio is. He's at the Raptor Brush. He is trying to zoom down here. Now, prop to CLG. This was a good play from their bot lane, and this is Prismal Breezy, cashing in on some of that early power, having the push, but going for Skytech, just a bit of an overextension. Prismal lands a nice trade in the back half, but Tomio able to clean up. I think the EG will take that.
I think so too. That is a great cleanup, getting 2 kills onto Hecarim. This is a good start as someone who wants to power farm, wants to try to get these levels under his belt. Now he's set up in a perfect position to now tag team with Skytech, look for these plays.
And look at the Hecarim. He is 3 camps ahead. He has 2 kills. We talked early about the importance of these clean engages from EG against the poke comp. The fact that Hecarim is so accelerated in this game, that's really going to help make sure that EG and Tomio are able to find the right engages.
And here, with Tomio going up to the top lane, he gets double scuttle advantage over Rosethorn, since he had booked it back down to the bot lane, got those 2 kills, got Scuttle Crab bot, reset, and got the top.
Oh, and now Surdy, he's going on the Dokla early.
Here.
Tomio's here.
Doesn't have 6. It's a little dicey. Even though Dokla doesn't have mana, doesn't need to use that when he's in hammer form, so they back off for now.
Tomio did drop, taking away the second Gromp respawn from Voldabear for that. I think he could have snuck that away, but overall, I think Surdy's okay, making sure he gets that lane in.
So what I think right here is they wanted to bait out the CP. They have Hecarim still here top. Once he hits level 6, they can dive Dokla.
Oh, so you think Surdy's going to TP back and do that? Mad magical.
Yeah, big brain.
It was a potential Giga Brain look. That said, Rosethorn's going to show, and it looks like Tomio's going elsewhere.
And I would have looked so smart if that had actually happened. So, I can only have that, I think, once a week, though. I think that's the rule.
Used it on some drafts yesterday.
Yeah.
Mad Magical was guessing all the drafts. He was on fire.
Yeah, once in a while. Hey, every blue moon, it happened.
You were, like the fire, you were as red as your suit. That is what you were throwing out in yesterday's drafts.
Dude, the only thing I'm missing with what I have today is like a red tie to go over the sweater, but that would look awkward if that were the case.
I think you look great, buddy. I think we're showing out here for the last week.
Yeah.
Doing a return of the game real quick. Rosethorn is going to be spotted mid, but Soligo, he just burned his Q.
He doesn't have flash either, so that's an effort to provide to get a little bit of distance with the flash in for Rosethorn. That is an easy kill for Bear.
And keep in mind, that was a flash-for-flash trade earlier. But Rosethorn, guess what? I guess he has inspiration.
Yeah.
He has that reduced cooldown on the flash, so he's able to use that, punish Siligo. Actually, really smart
Just
play coming out of
barely,
CLG.
too.
Some big brain summoner spell timings. That's going to net them the first dragon.
Heck, Sligo is about to have that flash up in like 10 seconds.
I believe it's a 35-second difference from each, or no? Hold on.
Something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head either. But yeah, Rosethorn
30
gets a
seconds.
little
30
bit.
seconds.
Okay. Good distance. That's a good window. Rosethorn getting it up. He realized, hey, we can gank Sligo, kill him. We can then turn towards this neutral objective, get the first one of the game.
That was actually really sick from Rosethorn and CLG. And now, I mean, the impact that has on this mid lane matchup, Mad Magical, triples ahead. And if Corki gets ahead in this matchup, we've seen how much damage Corki can pump out at the later stages of the game. Even thinking back, if anyone was watching twitch.tv/FaceItTV yesterday, there are games going on there right now, but you might have seen the Kaido one-shot.
Oh my
where
God.
It was a big rocket plus a Yumi Q, one-shot Kaori. A little bit unlucky for the marksman at EG, but that is how much damage Corki can do at the later stages of the game. Corki being accelerated now, going to make things a little bit harder for EG as they are down 1k gold. They're trying to look around this Rift Herald.
Might be down 1k gold, but they still are in a position to fight back. It's not necessarily doom and gloom for them. Tomio being far ahead on Hecarim, even if it's now been slightly answered by Rosethorn, he's in a position to counter this. See where Rosethorn's hanging around. Tomio, he could easily use the ult. He's not spotted at all. It's going to be the ult over the wall. But Surdy, you were way too low to engage that fight, and now you put Tomio in a bad spot. He has to gallop on out.
And I guess EG, like,
Too early.
that really puzzles me, as EG, I guess, just not quite on the same page. Surdy eating that shock blast, tried to go for the play anyway, wasn't able to survive it. And now EG, they did rotate their bot lane up here, so it will still be the Herald, but look at how much they're losing bot.
Oh,
this
man.
is 4 plates going over to Prismal Breezy. CLG are happy to drop this Rift Herald. They're still finding a way to get ahead.
They honestly might get the third, too. They've got another wave that just crashed in, so they could possibly take that as Dokla.
Okay.
Falls in the top lane. Wait a minute. Yes, he does. There it is. The flash away from Kaori gets the kill.
Really well done by Kaori. We did see that off, or didn't catch that quite off screen, but good find from Skytech and Kaori. As, I mean, while all this is going on, it's still first brick for CLG in the bot lane, and I teased earlier the importance of this for CLG's composition. Now they get the Caitlyn out of the first lane. They can rotate her around the map and keep on taking these plates. This is really tough for EG to deal with. They need their composition to stay in the game, to have enough gold, enough items in their pockets to dive onto CLG's team. And EG getting behind, that's going to make that so much harder to execute what they need to do later in the game with these big death ball team fights.
Yeah, because when you look at those members that want to engage, thankfully for Evil Geniuses, Tomio is the one with the gold at the moment for them. So they can rely on this Hecarim engage with Leona, but then you look at the other lanes, and you see how they're suffering. Top lane down over 20 CS. You look mid lane 10, bot lane 30. These are big wins for CLG.
Now, I think that, you know, it's good to highlight Tomio. He is the one that's been the big benefactor of this early game Mad Magical. And keep in mind, that Kaori interview we ran before the games, you know, he was praising Tomio. He said, you know, Tomio is a carry jungler at heart. You know, we're trying to form him into more of a team jungler, trying to balance out that gameplay. Well, Tomio has a big chance to carry in this one. And we've seen throughout Amateur, throughout some of these Academy games, Tomio can be a big carry. I really want to see if he's able to step up to the plate. It's a tough ask this game, but he has to step up if EG wants a chance.
Especially with the power that Prismal still exerts over Kaori in this top lane. Haven't gotten that turret bot lane as you talked about. Going top lane, taking more plates. That's going to be a total of 8 plates that Prismal's gotten after this next wave crashes.
And look at the CS, this Ashe, it does give you the ability to try and find engages onto the Caitlyn Lux, but you also get outranged rather heavily, and Breezy might fish for the ultimate here.
They got Kaori low with that ace in the hole, but Skytech's here to save the day, or is he? That is way too much damage. Double stun with Solar Flare, cannot escape from the Gale Force.
And I love the early cleanse from Prismal, just knowing that, hey, I have the Gale Force. I'm so big at the moment. He can't go in here. We can do something. Also, using the 90 caliber now to not be in the turret. Really well played mechanically by Prismal. Okay. Now we check bot. Surdy, he wants Dokla this time.
Yeah, he's got the ultimatum to lock Dokla in. The Dokla might have a level lead, and he does take
no.
that kill over him while Kaori dies top lane. CLG win cross map.
Oh, and EG, they go for the plays. It's a couple solo plays,
Wait,
though, and
what?
they can't connect it. But
What's going
meanwhile,
on?
Tomio,
Okay. Tomio
saves the
getting
day
more
again.
kills. Yeah, Tomio is the hero. This is the star for Evil Geniuses in this game.
everyone talks about the knight in shining armor, but no one talks about the pony that takes the knight in the battle. Tomio, he's got the heck
Look at that.
He's just trying to save EG this game.
Yeah, speaking of cross-map plays, it is Tomio and Tomio alone making plays all over the map for Evil Geniuses. 4-0 on a Hecarim. Already has the Turbo Chem tank in his inventory. And now a lot more gold. And you talked before about Kaori being more on the utility marksman here. That's going to be perfect with Tomio being there engaged.
I know we got a second look at what just happened around the map, but I still think it's so hard. I mean, Prismal has taken so many plates on his own. It's 8 he's taken off the map, and a couple of those he got solo gold, whereas Breezy was helping support the rest of the squad. And I think this makes the next Dragon for CLG pretty easy. You can see they just shifted the Caitlyn Lux mid. This will be a freebie for Rosethorn and friends, as we talked about CLG. I mean, something we haven't highlighted that we pretty much hit on for every single CLG game, how dominant their early game is. It's another one where they're just cruising the victory across the map, drafting Prio and playing with it really nicely.
What's worse, too, for Evil Geniuses with CLG getting this kind of lead with a poke composition is it's hard to come back from. That is why they have to continue to look for these plays. TP now being burned by Triple, but Skytech takes the turret. It's a lot of damage on Adokla, sure, but Skytech takes a lot more. They've got the kill. Unstoppable Tomio is a hero at the moment, but now he has to escape. He cannot get away. Wait a minute. He dies to the turret, and they get the kill onto Sligo as well.
EG, they have to go for the cross map, but it not working out. Again, EG tries to make a play. It doesn't connect. CLG are able to pick up gold elsewhere. Mid-outer should fall after the plates fall, and CLG, and this team, on average, it's about a 2K gold difference at 15. This game, after plates fall, it's already a 4K gold lead, and they are not done.
It's not over yet, Cubby. It's not over by a long stretch for Evil Geniuses. The plates might have fallen, but they are falling as well. With CLG constantly poking and prodding at every single lane, looking really dire for Evil Geniuses.
And for me, this has been a real return to the identity that we saw CLG have so much success with in that first round robin. 14-4 in the first round robin. They had to reclaim first place yesterday against Golden Guardians Academy. Already kind of highlighted how much that meant to Prismal and the team, but the way that CLG are doing this, man, Magical. I mean, it's just been what made them so great in the first round robin. Yeah. Drafting priority, Rosethorn invading and making plays, and CLG just winning with some of their strength in solo lanes. Triple and Dokla continue to just be on their own, outperforming.
This game has so many implications for both teams. CLG winning this one guarantees them first place and first seeding going into the Proving Grounds. While for Evil Geniuses, it can get dire. They might have to face off in a tiebreaker scenario if they drop this game and the next.
CLG looking to put any doubts out early. Now, at the moment, CLG, not much for them to do on the map. There is a Rift Herald up, but they're trying to take advantage of this bot river as Skytech. Gonna get a love tap on the way out from Jason. This is really the doomsday scenario for EG. You can see Triple Dokla. They're gonna try and push out these side waves and then collapse, poke EG down, and then try and take the inner turrets that way. So wherever Lux, Caitlyn are, CLG are looking to get Prio elsewhere, collapse into it.
That's why I think why we're just so tense in this game. Even with a big lead for the side of CLG, this is a lot. This means a lot for these teams. You can't just discount Evil Geniuses, what they have had built, especially because Hecarim still has 5 kills.
And speaking specifically with CLG, I mean, I asked Prismal, like, hey, what does #1 seed mean to you? And Prismal, I kind of like this answer. It's like, you know, it shows that we're buying into the process of winning Proving Grounds, but that is all that matters to us. We think that we are a team that can win Proving Grounds. #1 seed, you know, helps fulfill that we, like, the belief that we can, but it's not what we're about. You know, job's not done yet. Pretty much that, using that old Kobe quote as... Oh?
Okay, the arrow might have gone wide, but they got a lot of damage on Adokla so far. But keep in mind, it's a 2-level lead over 30. He still dies thanks to the help of Skytech.
Good setup. Nice roam by Skytech as EG find a look. That's what we're looking from them. Trying to attack these squishier members of the side of CLG. First time we've seen that. They're going to need a couple more of those. And we'll see if EG can get a good setup before this upcoming Dragon. 90 seconds away. Soul point for CLG. If EG want any chance, they have to use the Fog of War. Because if they don't, CLG can mercilessly poke them out.
There. Skytech hanging out in this brush, but he does not have
Hold
solar
on.
flare. Got his Zenith blade though. Triple stepping far out. There's the hook shot going wide for both.
I think Surdy prepping that hook shot gave away that Skytech might be there. So Triple, you know, able to turn his Spidey senses on, sidesteps that as now 1 minute away. EG, they lost their pick opportunity. Both Surdy and Skytech have to reset. And this should be Dragon priority going over to EG, or CLG. And I don't think EG can even contest now that CLG have control of this river, just given how much poke their composition has.
And it's so unfortunate for them because the one play I think they have left in them is a YOLO Hail Mary play around Baron. I talked before with how quickly they can take it down. They need that synced up with the Dragon. They're going to have that happen. And CLG...
Really? YOLO Barons? Hey, already? Baron hasn't even spawned.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's unfortunate that soul point potential is now. That you're already getting the third Dragon of the game for CLG, meaning the next time the Dragon spawns, you either forfeit a soul to CLG, give them more mobility around the map, or you just take the Baron and hope that's enough to swing the gold back.
Well, at the moment, EG just looking to get gold elsewhere because they don't want to contest that Dragon. And you can see how confident CLG is taking control of this river. I think this is the right play for EG. Once you lose prio over the river, just take something elsewhere. Yep. Sligo will pick up an objective bounty turret. So I think EG trading for something here is the right move, even if it is soul point going over to CLG.
I agree. I do agree with you that that is what you have to do as Evil Genius. It's just unfortunate. They find themselves at this point behind a poke composition. Not enough times is a poke composition highlighted when they get ahead. Because when they get ahead, their siege potential that they can set up is monstrous. And the only one who might be able to absorb some of that pressure is Tomio.
I like that you're bringing it up, too, just because the tiers on the Jason Corki, they should be ready close to this upcoming Dragon, which will not make things any easier for the side of EG. So I think in this downtime, let's keep our eyes out to see if EG can keep on manipulating some picks on these sides. I think Skytech working with Surdy, that's something that EG can do consistently to try and kill these squishy members of CLG. And we'll see if CLG can play defense for it. And also, the good news for CLG, it's a poke comp. You can always bait Baron, bait EG in, and get a lot of damage down. That's something that they could try and set up for to continue to accelerate this game here in 30 seconds.
Have to give credit to Evil Geniuses. When this team falls behind, they don't just roll over and take it. They always play aggressively, try to get these leads back because they know that they have to make these plays work. One of those plays can turn the tides back in their favor.
And Doko is showing, you can already see Tomio Skytech starting to walk down. If Doko pushes further up here, yeah, they're going to send it. Rose Thorn's here, though.
Okay, and there's a TP behind. Ultimatum connects. They already got another TP on the other side with a lot of damage on the Doko. They're going to burn him down really quickly. And then Triple flashed away from that Burst Divide to survive. And with a nice unstoppable onslaught, looking for the backline with a lot of damage. They've brought back in Rose Thorn. But that damage from Triple is huge. Every single missile connecting is bursting down these members and finding the snipe onto Surdy. 1v4 be damned. Triple is not deterred. He will fight back. He's got reinforcements on the side, waiting it out. That is going to be a nice final spark, but with Skytech going in and dying to Triple, it's a rampage for CLG.
I like the idea from EG, but it takes too long to develop, and because Triple plays this so well, it buys time for the rest of the members to get in. If you can take a second look at this. A Triple, I mean, he perfectly buffered two abilities from EG that got him to safety instead of dumping him into trouble into the rest of EG. That's how CLG went out to play. Huge plays coming out of Triple.
And keep in mind that the Baron is now up. I talked about a Hail Mary play out of Evil Geniuses to try to secure that. With this massive lead that now CLG find themselves in, they're securing that vision around the Purple War.
I actually like how CLG are not starting this. They know that Cavalry has a couple extra ways to scout. They know that that could be a way that EG can get back in this game. Instead, they're going to take total control and try and find a pick.
They got to kill Tomio if they want to surely go onto the Baron or just outdamage him like that. Because now they're on top of it with the package out of Triple.
And Tomio, he can't reset. He has to stick around because he knows how quickly this Baron can fall from CLG. It's already at half. Breeze is going to keep him out of the pit.
And also keep in mind that he had already used his ult Onslaught of Shadows to get away. Fight should be secured by Rosethorn with Triple going into the backline. The legal flash, but that's so much damage with the Gatling gun out of Triple. They've got him stunned at the moment, but they still got the kills that they turned around onto Skytech with the flank from Dokla. Kaori, he is no more chased down by the bear. with the Pony Express now finding his way back home.
I don't think Pony's going home the traditional way. I think he's going to go down as... Oh, Tomio actually able to escape. Now we'll see Surdy going to hop out too. And CLG just playing this textbook Mad Magical. That is the perfect way to play around Baron's Pokemon. Chunk the jungler out, then start it afterwards. Breezy, even him, you know, going down, sacrificing his life. Who cares? You get Baron.
Yeah, and we got to look at this replay from this one. This was a massive play for CLG. Like you talked about, poking out Tomio. They don't need the kill. It's enough to get him off the pit.
I mean, this is well worth it for Breezy. He chunked Tomio out at the Raptors. Who cares if Breezy even goes down here? Did it even go down to that play? Yeah, they weren't even able to find him. So, I mean, I think it's just a really good read from CLG what their win cons are. And I think it's a great sign for CLG moving forward. As I've highlighted before, CLG, they weren't happy with how the past couple weeks have gone. It was a lot of them just trying to work through, you know, how exactly do we want to play the game? Like, what is the best way for us to win? You know, them not always being on the same page. But this week, Mad Magical, this Super Week, our final week of the Academy regular season, CLG look like it's a return to form for them. They look so good and are looking to stamp their spot in first with a win here.
Day one was a little dicey, but then that day two victory over the former first place team.
They looked good in the 1-1 though.
Hey, they looked all right. The back door was what set them up for the win. Right here, Dokla is now getting focused down by 3 members of Evil Genius, but it takes so long to actually kill him. The arrow will find the snipe onto Dokla. There's a possible re-engage from CLG. Growthorn is deep inside enemy lines. He had to use the ult to get over the wall with that nice onslaught of shadows. Forcing him back. A triple, and it's also Prismal getting a lot of damage with that headshot on top of Surdy. Evil Genius is running, but they cannot escape. Triple kill from Prismal. With the remaining 2 members of Evil Genius inside the base, Ace in the hole will force them far back into their own.
Prismal was talking about the dope bean and getting ice cream as a team yesterday. What about the dope bean for the Collector? Getting 2 kills there from a couple Collector procs. CLG win out on the fight, utilizing those pocketbooks. We'll take the mid inhibitor and are now looking for a bot.
This game has been CLG's for quite some time. A dominant performance from our star team here to secure first seed for Proving Ground.
2 inhibitors down. CLG can retreat, take Cloud Soul. This game's got to be done and dusted for the side of EG. And I mean, CLG, really the growth of this team has shown. I mean, keep in mind, Triple, someone, you know, FlyQuest, they were a decent Academy team last year. Triple, someone that has had international success. Dokla, you know, he was a sub for Team Liquid. He was playing an amateur last year. And for this team to really, you know, recover from that, none of these players, besides Prismal, have ever been Academy champions. And they are playing like they want to take that first seed, like they want to take Proving Grounds. As we get closer here, we're going to take a second look. Once again, I respect and appreciate the attempt from EG. Let's keep our eyes on Triple and Prismal, how they play the rest of this one out.
Yeah, just watching how they kite back, they're so focused on killing Rosethorn that allows Prismal and Triple to just unleash hell.
We got to go back to live because now we have EG getting chased down by CLG.
I got a stun. That's going to be an alt used defensively to get away with the nice solar flare connecting, but they've lost Sky Tech for it.
It's 5v3. Surdy's fixing sides. Same with Calvary. They got to respect the super creeps. The CLG just continue to push forward as Soligo. Fortunately, that comment went towards the Pony and not the Phoenix because that was close to falling. They're going to have to drop this next inhibitor. And we'll see where EG makes their last stand.
Well, now every inhibitor is down for them. All 3 have fallen. Evil Geniuses have 4 up. Skytech will respawn soon for a final desperation fight. CLG are so firmly in control. 8-2 on Prismal. This guy's looked absolutely bad in these last few days.
Arrow goes wide. That's 1 engage cooldown for EG. They don't have Solar Flare quite yet. That's the first Nexus Tower dropping.
Ult used by Breezy as well to help clear out the minion wave so they can get a little bit more poke. 30 went to the back. Oh, where did Soligo go? Prismal just bopped him. He's gonna bop Skytech once he gets out of his stasis. Look for Tomio too. They've lost the bear, but doesn't really matter when you've taken the base and you can start setting up Prismal. He's got, boy, I was hoping he was gonna get that double kill because that could have set up a Penta to end this game, securing first place for CLG. Evil Geniuses now have to fight themselves out of having the bottom seed.
And for CLG, their performance this week, I really think this team is playing some of the better league we've seen from them this season. In the last week, I know the second round robin hasn't gone their way, but they are changing that narrative with their play in week 8.
Oh, yeah.
This super week, CLG came to play. They're stepping up. They're returning to some of the things that made them really good in the first round robin, but also we're seeing some growth out of these players. Prismal, he has not been known for Caitlyn, hasn't really been a Caitlyn player until this split. I believe this split with Prismal, this is his fourth year in Academy.
Yeah.
He picked up his first win on Caitlyn this split. And now we're seeing him pop off on Caitlyn in games like this. So, even our top team, these guys are showing growth. There's a reason they're at the top of the table for Academy. And it's really good to see CLG scaling back up to where we saw them earlier in the season, right in time for our big event in Proving Grounds.
Exactly. They've gotten themselves out of that slump that they suffered in the second round robin, and they're looking dominant. But we have another game for them to play against Evil Geniuses. And Evil Geniuses need that victory if they want to at least buy themselves a little bit of time and try to deny TSM from stealing that 9th seed spot. The only way we can find that out, Cubby, by sending it to a break and bringing back Kangas for our halftime show. Make sure you stay tuned.